Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. I want to welcome you here today. Please be sure that you comment when you come on and say hello and maybe say where you're from, where you're watching me from. I'm just going to give a moment for everybody to get here. Let me check my iPad to make sure everything's working good. All right, that was good. Oops, didn't turn my notifications off. I'm sorry. All right, so let's get started with the program today. I know this isn't my. All right. Oops. I didn't turn off my iPad. All right. Hopefully my sound's off on there now. Sorry about that. Okay, like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie, and this isn't my normal day of being on. I've decided that I'm going to try to do 2 videos a week. So hopefully that works out all right with everybody, and it works out okay with me. There's a lot more prep work to get done for it, but we're going to try to do it. So see what happens. Today is November 15th, and today is Friday, and the year is 2024, which I didn't say. All right, so I'm just going to give a moment for everybody to get here, and we can get right into our housekeeping notes and get those started. So we'll save a little time. Let me switch cameras here. All right. Okay, so like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie. And you can watch me either on Facebook or on YouTube. I'm on both at the same time. I video to both at the same time. And for any products that we're showing today, you can shop in my store, which is, let me put that scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It is www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And if your order is under $150, use the November code, which is WAQ4KAX4. And that's also screening across the bottom of the screen. I'll leave that up for a moment so you can copy that down. All right. And if you need to email me with any questions, you can reach me at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com. And also you can private message me on Facebook here. Okay, Stampin' Up today. Well, today's the last day of this seasonal sale, which is you save up to 20% on paper, bundles, and ink from the annual catalog. So the ink would include the stamp pads, the ink refills, and also the Stampin' blends and markers. So you might want to get an order in today and save a little bit of money there. It says build up your collection of crafting supplies and prepare for another year of projects. All right, I apologize for the notifications coming in. I forgot to turn them off. All right, Paper Pumpkin. We are in the month of November, which you have until November 10th, or no, let me back up. We're in the December Paper Pumpkin Kit. Time flies, which is Notes from the Heart. And you have until December 10th to sign up for this one. It says it includes bases with scalloped edges. So it says create cards with hand sketch botanical designs. Makes 9 projects, 3 each of 3 designs. Pre-cut vellum pieces and sparkling gems. Scalloped card bases and coordinating envelopes. And the Stampin' Spot that you get with this kit is the Blackberry Bliss. So like I said, you got until December 10th to sign up for this kit. And while you're signing up for the kit, you might as well add on the dies that go with it. And these are for 3 months at a time. So this would be the last month on this one, which is December. But you got the October and the November dies that you could use anyway. And the October one was the Mary word die cut. And then November is the little tag die. So those are item number 165639, and those are only $12. So that's a bargain for 3 dies there to be able to use. And I guess that's all on my housekeeping kit. Things to do, so I ran out of paperwork. All right, I want to remind you that Monday, November 18th, 2024, we'll be doing another live. So put that on your calendar. It will be at the same time, 10:30 Central Time. That's in the morning AM. I think I'm sound asleep at 10:30 at night. Okay, so let's get on with our projects then today. Let me move this out of the way. So our projects today are fun fold cards, and we're going to be using the bundle that comes out of the mini catalog. And it is on page 31, the Winterly Treetops. And I'm using a few of those items. I'm using the bundle, and I'm using the paper and the Natural Tones linen thread. But I think that's all I'm using on that page. So let's get started. And decide which one I want to start with here. Let me bring my comments back up here so I can watch comments as you come on. This is our first fun fold card. Let me move some things out of the way here to make a little bit of room. And it's a birthday card. It says happy birthday, and then it opens like this. And on the inside it says hoping you have the best day ever. So let's go ahead and get started with that. All of our bits and pieces out here. And I've done a lot of the prep work ahead of time so we can save some time. You don't need to sit here and watch me cut paper. All right. We're going to start out with our basic black cardstock, which is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. But we are going to bring our paper trimmer up here and we're going to score that. I didn't do the scoring ahead of time. We'll do that on camera here. And move my card out of the way. I'm going to be bumping it here. All right, so we're going to score that 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock. We're going to score it on the long side at 1.5 inches. So make sure you got your cutting blade out of the way. We don't want to cut the paper again. Okay, 1.5. And then scooch it over, and we're going to do it at 5 3/4 inches. Right there. And that's all the scoring that we do with our cardstock. So set that aside. I'm going to bring my bone folder over here. We're going to do some burnishing of our score lines. And I kind of watch and make sure that my papers line up at each side. You can always scooch it a little bit if you need to, but it looks like that one's good. Now we're going to this other side and do the same. Burnish that edge. All right, so it's going to open like this. And I'm thinking I need to do a little bit of adjusting here. I want that to meet. I don't want it to be overlapped. So let me bring my bone folder over here and force that. All right, that's better. And we'll set our card aside and we'll bring over our basic white mats, which are going to be our left side of the card is going to be 2.5 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And on the left side, that one is going to be 1 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then our designer series paper, we're using I think it's called the Nests of Winter. And let me show those real quick before we go on here. This is one sheet I've got left of the pack, and you can see that I've been using some of it. So I just want to show that to you. This is 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. And this one too I've been using. I need to order some more. 1 and 2. And some of these birds you use the die to cut out. There's a couple birds on here. You can use the dies that come with it. And 1 and 2. And 1 and 2. And this is the design that we're using today, the back side, side 2. It's got little birds on there, you can see. I don't know. There, the camera's picking them up. And again, 1 and 2. All right, so our designer series paper, that pattern measures 2 1/4 inches by 5 inches. That'll go onto that wider mat. And then the other one measures 1 by 5 inches. And that goes on our right side. So we'll grab our glue, and we're going to do some gluing here. I'm going to grab my silicone mat so I keep some of the glue mess off of my work surface here. That side's cute too, but I did use that on another card, so I wanted to change this one a little bit. Be sure you like and share the video if you're watching me on Facebook, and I think you can do the same thing on YouTube also, so I'd appreciate that. It brings me more viewers. And if you're watching it on YouTube, be sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And click that little bell and you'll be notified when I go live. All right, so here's our one panel. Let's do the other panel. And my husband was out there with the leaf blower, but I'm glad that he shut it off. Because our microphone on this picks up a lot of stuff, but you wouldn't realize it does. All right, so we can attach those to the front of our card, our panels. So we'll start with the left side first. All right, and that goes on our left side. Press that down. And then our other side. Before I came on this morning, I cleaned all my acrylic blocks, got them cleaned. They were pretty nasty. They had glue stuck to them and all sorts of stuff. I just use a cotton swab and rubbing alcohol to clean them with, and it works wonders. I had thrown them into the dishwasher before, but I think the alcohol with the cotton ball worked better, so you can make sure you get everything off. All right, so here's our card so far. And then for the inside, we have our basic weight, and this measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do our stamping while I've got this out. And I didn't even show you the bundle that we're using. Let me get that back out here. It is the Winterly Treetops and the Winterly Treetops dies. You can get this as a bundle and save 10%. This isn't included in the seasonal sale today. It's only in the annual catalog that are products that you can get on sale. All right, and for this one, I'm going to be using another sentiment stamp, which comes from using the Country Birdhouse. I'm going to use the Hoping You Have the Best Day Ever sentiment out of there. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that. I'm going to bring my black Memento ink to stamp that with. And my paper's moving here. Put that down. Hope y'all have had a good week. Mine's been pretty good. I'm going to stamp that at the upper center. And while we're at it, before we attach that to the inside, well, I'm going to wait till I put that in there. I'm going to go ahead and stamp our circle, which was die cut using all right, I'm shuffling through the things here. I used the Spotlight on Nature dies, and I'll show you which one I used. This one here, you get an assortment. There's 12 dies in this die pack, so it's really a good sized package. So I cut that out of basic white using that die. And let's do our stamping on there. We're going to stamp it with Happy Birthday. It's going to be a birthday card. And this one comes from, I'm using the stamp set, The Very Best Occasions. And this sentiment right here. So let's go ahead and stamp that. And I'm going to stamp it at the upper portion of it, off to the left side of it a little bit. Using our black Memento ink. Right. Let me grab this paper again. I want to show you where I cut it out from. I am missing a sheet of paper here. There it is. Nope, yeah, that's it. Okay, out of this pattern, we're cutting the birds out, and I've already die cut that. So we've got our 2 birds here. And that's going to go on to our little label here. I was kind of trying to see how I want to arrange that. I don't want my image to cover up my words there. So I'm just going to put my adhesive onto that and then attach it to our circle. All right, let me see where I want it to be. I think probably right there looks good. Okay. Get our silicone mat out of the way. We can put this aside for a moment. Let's go ahead and attach our circle onto our flap, front flap. And you want to make sure that you only put adhesive on the left side, the left panel here. So I'm going to kind of hold my finger where I don't want anything at. And I'm going to bring my dimensionals over here, and we're going to start adding some of those to the back of our circle, just on the one half of it. And let's see here. I think I'm just going to put these directly onto my card front. Right here. And that should fit on there. Close that. Make sure I'm getting it centered. And kind of peek. Yeah. I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. That pokey side. Pop off the backings of our dimensionals. And also these two. Today. All right, and we're going to attach that, center it on the card front, and all right, like that. And now we can finish our inside layer. We'll bring that back, and I've also die cut one of the other birds, and that's going to go on our inside layer down at the bottom here. So put some glue. And we're going to set him down the bottom left-hand corner. And then we can add that to the inside of our card. Center that. Trying to line it up with my outside layer here so it kind of matches up a little bit. We're going to scooch that up just a tiny bit. Looks good. All right, so here's our card so far. We need to put some embellishments down here, so we're going to add a double bow that I made from our linen thread using a mini glue dot. And I think I'm going to place that down at the bottom here. And we'll add a little bit more bling. We're going to use our basic rhinestones. Brand new pack here. And we use the putty end of our Take Your Pick tool. All these items can be found in my store. So, and I'm going to use one of each size. So the large, the medium, and a small one can go, and we'll put it over here. Okay, so here's our card, our first fun fold. Happy birthday. Hoping you have the best day ever on the inside. Good morning, Rosie. Glad you're here. We just completed our first fun fold, so if you missed it, you can go back and catch the replay after we're done. All right, so let's go on to our second card, which is another fun fold. That's what I'm calling Fun Fold Friday today. Here's another fun fold. And I've got a little sample of something else that I did with it afterwards when we're finished with it. Let me get my things out here. All right, so here's our fun fold. And I'm not sure if the camera's going to do it justice. It sits like this. Let me set it like this, kind of. That's how it's when it's opened on the side. And this opens up, and then this flips up, and then you got the inside of your card. So I hope that showed it good enough where you can see it. Okay, and I'm using the same stamp set bundle. And this one says, sending happy thoughts. And then on the inside, you've been on my mind. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I have to stand up here so I can see what I'm doing. All right. So we're going to start out with our cardstock. Is going to be our pecan pie. And this is going to be the whole card base, and then you're going to add to the rest of it. It's 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. So it's pretty much our basic card size that we're going to add to that. And let's see, inside layer. And then we have our basic white, which measures 4 1/8 inches by 9 3/8 inches. And then it's scored. Did I score this already? Yes, I did. It's scored at 2 inches and 4 inches. You can't really see it on there. So let me go ahead and fold those back and you'll be able to see them better. So get our bone folder and burnish those. And oops, went the wrong way. Let's do this 4 inch at first. Did I do this right? Let me see. Okay. Right. So it's going to form like a Z fold. So now burnish this edge of our 2 inch. Let's score it at 2 inch and 4 inches. And I'm going to give this another burnish there. So our card is going to look like this. This is going to go on the front of our 4 1/4 inch by 11 inch. And it's going to just attach this larger area to the front of our card. So on our glue. And then place that down carefully onto the front of our card. I've got it opening right. Yeah. Uh-oh. I think I cut something wrong. I did. Let me set this aside, and I'm going to grab another sheet of paper here. I got that cut wrong. Okay, this is real-time sharing here. Bring that paper trimmer back over here. We need to open that because we're going to do 9 3/8 inches. Let's do this again and do it right. We're going to be cutting this at 4 1/8 inches. And again at 9 3/8 inches. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now we're going to score that at 2 inches and 4 inches. It's 2 inches. And again at 4 inches. All right. Hopefully we fix that problem. All right, so we're going to fold our basic white again and burnish our edges, our score lines. And then fold this one back and burnish that edge. And now we can attach that to our card front. Let me make sure it's the right size now. Yep, that looks better. I apologize for JoJo barking. She was taking her nap. Not anymore. All right, put our adhesive. And you know, my adhesive of choice is the combo glue or the mono liquid glue. All right, now we can attach that to the front of our card to make our fun fold. So I'm going to get that centered on there and press that down. All right, so here's our card. Let me show you what that looks like. It's going to sit like this. Doesn't really show it that well. All right, now I'm going to be using our Designer Series paper, which comes from the Nests of Winter paper. And I'm using this pattern. And that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And also the bottom piece is going to measure 1 7/8 inches by 4 inches. So this one will go across the bottom. And then this is going to go up here. So we're going to go ahead and attach those. Open our card and get that in there. We're going to leave a small border going around our Designer Series paper. All right, we got that. And then I'm going to open it up and put this one at that bottom layer. Turn that upside down and put that on. All right, so it's going to look like this. That's why our card's opened. And it's going to fold up here and fold here. All right, and then I use the dies, the Nested Essentials dies, and I use this large tag die, banner, and I die cut our paper. Let me see. Out of that same Designer Series paper that we're using in the pack. This is on this side, and that's going to go. Well, I've got another shorter piece here. There it is. What I did is I cut 2 using this die, but I didn't need the whole piece of that one die, so I cut it, made it shorter, which is probably 1 3/4 inch from this end to this tip. I just shortened it because that's going to be behind our die that came from the Spotlight on Nature. Is that Spotlight on Nature? No. Goodness, where is it? They're right beside me here. This is from the Spotlight on Nature. I knew there was a nature in there somewhere. And I used that same die that I used in the previous one, which is this one, to die cut that. And then I used the next smaller one. And this is the pecan pie cardstock. And then I cut this designer series paper. I cut using the next smaller one that will fit inside of those two. So the larger and then the smaller. So we're going to put the short one up at top here. And I'm going to put that right up against the top of our designer series paper in the center. Oops, and it shifted on me. And this one's going to go at the bottom area. Thank you for sharing, Rosie. Where are you watching me from? All right, this is going to go at the bottom. And kind of make them even with the other one, kind of eyeball it. Oops, and I'm out of camera view here. All right, so we're going to attach these two together. This is our card front so far. Put these two together. And we're going to place that on that larger circle. All right, I see a couple things that I need to pop out here. I thought I cleaned it, but I guess I missed those. That looks good. All right, now that's going to go in the center of that to cover up that space that you don't have a tag there. No one's going to know but us. Oh, okay, Kansas. You're not too far from us. We're Arkansas. Oops, I've got another one there hanging on. Thank you for being here. All right, we're going to place that in the center of those two tags. And I just glued it down with my regular glue. All right, and then I die cut. Oh, we're going to die cut. I need to bring my machine over here. We're going to die cut these two birds out. So I'm going to use my mini Stampin' and Cut Emboss machine. This can be found in my online store. This is the boho blue color. And I need my dies, which are right here. And I need this one. Grab my plates. I've got a number 3, a number 2 plate, 2 number 2 plates, one on the bottom and one on the top. And we're going to place our birds there and okay. And got some washi tape over here to hold them. Okay. So I'm going to place that onto our image and die cut that. I'm going to use some washi tape to hold it in place so it doesn't move on me. And then we'll go through our machine and cut those out. Hoping it doesn't jiggle the camera too much. And there's our birds. Put this back in my package so I don't lose it. And I'm going to place those birds on 2 dimensionals. So let me bring those back here. And take your pick tool. I'm getting at the end of my sheet here, it looks like. So I may have to use the edges of it. And it looks like I need to do some snipping here. And don't throw your outside edges away because they are still usable. I just snip them down to the size I want, and then I don't waste. All right, I'll take this one and place over here. I shredded that one. Take your pick tool, wasn't grabbing it. And I think I need a tiny one right here. So I think that's probably good. Got dimensional sticking to my fingers here. All right, we're going to place our birds over that circle. And right about there looks good. I've made another double bowl with our linen thread, and that's going to go at the top here. I'm going to grab my glue dots again to hold that in place. Place that in the center. And I'm going to kind of roll it into a tiny ball, or a log, I guess I should say, to grab that with. All right, so that's the front of our card on that part. And now we're going to grab a scrap of basic white, and we're going to stamp our sentiment, which comes from the Wildflower Designs. And we're using the Sending Happy Thoughts. And I'm going to put the You've Been on My Mind on the inside. So using our black Memento ink again. Thank you, Rosie. And stamp that on our scrap of basic white here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of layer 2 while I got that ink pad out. So this is our basic white, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And the inside sentiment is going to be You've Been on My Mind, and it comes from that same stamp set. And I'm going to kind of put it, I think, off to the right, up towards the upper corner, upper right-hand corner. Close up our ink pad. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for a moment. We're going to go back to our sentiment here. And I'm just going to fussy cut this out. So I'm going to take my scissors, my paper snips, and just run around the words here, leaving a white border around them. Which takes no time at all. Doesn't take very long to do. But it kind of gives it a nice visual. And like so. That's going to go onto our front little flap there in the center, using some glue. And center that. All right, so let's finish our inside layer. And I've die cut another one of those birds out, but it's not a full 2 birds on that page, but I want to use the edges of my paper too, so we're not wasting. So he's going to just butt up against the side of that basic white layer. Just adds a little something to the inside of our cards. More glue right there. Just that corner. And see if I can pick this up without getting too much glue on myself. And it's going to go on the bottom left-hand corner, right up against the edge of that basic white. See, it dresses up our area there. All right, then add our glue to that layer, and we'll attach that to the inside of our card. And make sure I've got an opening right here. Okay, right here. We don't want our birds upside down on the inside, so, which I have done before. All right, there we go. Okay. I don't think I put any gems on here. No. So here's our card when it's all closed up. And then it opens and opens. And then it sits up. Kind of see. So that's our second fun fold card. Things out of the way here so I can make room for our next card. I did another, it was one of our challenges that our team had going on. So that's where I got the dimensions for the card itself. But I did it using the, was it Simply Xenia stamp set? And I made a thank you card out of that one. So it's just a sample. So anything works with it. It doesn't have to be exactly what I've got. It can be anything that you want to use. All right, now we'll get for our third card, which is called a book fold. And I'm not sure what the other 2 cards are called, what kind of a fold they are. I guess the first one was a offset gatefold card, is what it's called. I'm not sure about the second one that we did, what it would be called. And let's get all of our things out here. Okay, so here's our book fold card, thinking of you always. And I'm using that same bundle. That's what I'm saying. A friend like you brings me happiness. Set aside. And we're going to be using our Pebbled Path cardstock as our card base. Put my dimensions out here. And that measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then it's scored at 5 1/2 inches and again at 6 3/4 inches. So 5 1/2 inches and 6 3/4 inches. We're going to burnish that edge at score lines. And we'll burnish this one. And I'm going to fold that back again to kind of break up those paper fibers so it bends easier. So it's going to look like this. All right. Get my things out here so I don't lose anything. Okay, our inside layer is going to be our basic white, and that's going to measure 4 by 4 inches. And we're going to be using designer series paper again. We're going to be using this pattern along with this pattern on the spline. So the spline measures 1 inch by 4 inches, and that'll go on this side. And then our designer series paper, this one measures 4 inches by 4 inches, and that'll go right here on that side. So we're going to go ahead and attach those. And glue's being stubborn, I guess, because I'm moving the cap off of it, so it's trying to clog up on me, I think. And then over here, put that down on our spline, our book fold spline. And our other designer series paper, which was 4 inches by 4 inches. And the pattern has it going sideways, but I'm having it going up and down with it looks like a tree bark. All right, so that's how it is so far. And trying to get my bearings straight here. I'm using the Stylish Shapes circles, and I'm using the Pebble Path cardstock, and I'm going to make like a little wreath or a little ring. So I kind of spaced them apart from each other, and then I attached them with the washi tape or something to hold them down, and then I ran them through my die cutting machine. But we're going to just use this layer here, and you can save this for something else later on, another project. So we're going to attach that to the center of our book fold card. And I'm just attaching it with glue. I'm not putting it on dimensionals or anything. And we'll place that in the center. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. And I've got ink on my fingers. And this is from the Winterly Treetops again. And it's Thinking of You Always. With our black Memento ink. All right, we're going to stamp that centered between that circle. And hopefully I don't mess up because I only got one chance here. There we go. And then we have a scrap of basic white, and we're going to stamp our little holly leaves here. I guess it's a garland onto our scrap of basic white. And I'm going to do some coloring with our Stampin' Blends. And I've got our light and dark cherry cobbler, our dark shaded spruce, and our dark granny apple green are the colors that we're using. So I'm going to start with the shaded spruce first. And trying to see which ones I started out with here. I'm not going to color all of this. I'm just going to give you a sampling because I've already colored one ahead of time to save a little time. I just want to give you an idea how I did it. So I'm coloring the bigger leaves using the shaded spruce. And then I came back with our dark granny apple green, and it's well, this is our dark granny apple green. And I'm going to do the smaller leaves of that. And I like to stamp these and then bring them when I'm watching TV at night and color. And we'll do these here. Okay. Oops, I got one right there. And I'm going to bring my shaded spruce back over here, and I'll go ahead and color these larger leaves here. I'll just do the one side of the swag. Give you an idea. All right, we're going to do our dark cherry cobbler. And I'm going to color our berries, but I'm going to do the centers of our berries using the dark. And come back with our light cherry cobbler and do the rest of the berries. So it's just a sampling of how I did it. But I've already die cut that out. It has a die that cuts it out. I did that ahead of time to save some time. And we're going to take that swag and we're going to attach it to the bottom layer of our little wreath here. I'm just using our glue. I'm not using dimensionals on that either. And attach that. Don't cover up your sentiment words. And then I fussy cut two of the birds out of that designer series paper. It doesn't have a die that goes for that, but it didn't take long to fussy cut them out. So I've got one face in each direction. They're going to go onto our card right there, but I'm going to place them up on dimensionals. So let me grab my dimensionals back over here. And I take the pick tool along with that. And I'm going to place one dimensional on the back of each bird. And we're going to place this bird on top of this one. And I'm kind of butting it up against our swag there to make sure there's not a space in between. And I'm going to get his tail over here out of the way. I need to scooch him over a little bit so his tail doesn't hang off of the card. And then this one is going to go at this lower edge. All right, so there's that so far. And then I've got a bowl that I made from the 2023 to 2025 in color jute trim. And it's this one, it's the Pebbled Path one. And I need to trim off my tails after I get that on there. So I'm going to use my mini glue dots. Hold that in place. And I take your pick tool to get that off of my roll. And that's going to go right here in this inside circle, right above the swag where the berries are. Push that down. And then I'm going to trim off my tail on this side. It's a little bit too long. And for a little bit of bling, we've got our pecan pie and clear ribbon adhesive back dots. We're going to use 3 of those. Oh, thank you, Rosie. Yeah, I think I do too. I like the book fold, fun folds. They're probably one of my favorites. And we're going to use the pecan pie ones, and we're going to place 3 at this top edge. All right, so those. And these are flat, so they mail really good too. You don't have that extra bulk. All right, I think I got everything there. And now we're going to glue our spline down to our card base. And I'm going to hold that for a bit, just to make sure it attaches. Okay, that should be good. And now we're going to grab that inside layer, which was 4 by 4 inches also, and we're going to stamp our sentiment in there, which is going to say, a friend like you brings me happiness. Bring that back into ink again. And I'm going to stamp that centered towards the top. Close up our ink pad. And I have also fussy cut a little bitty leaf, I guess is what it is, foliage. And that's going to go at the bottom corner. And right there at the bottom right-hand corner. And we'll put that inside of our card. Trying to keep an even border going all the way around that. Sometimes that's easier said than done. All right, so here's our 3rd and final fun fold card today. Thinking of you always. And a friend like you brings me happiness. Who wouldn't like to get a card like that? I would. All right, so we're going to bring all of our cards out here. See if I can get them all on screen here. So here's our first one. It's a birthday card, happy birthday. And it's a fun fold. And that one was called an offset gatefold card. And then this one, which opens like this. And then our book fold card, which opens like this. So which one is your favorite? Do you think the last one is your favorite? I think I kind of agree. Yeah. I like them all, but I think I'm probably more partial to the book fold. All right. So I'm thinking that's all. Um, I'll be back Monday, November 18th, 2024 at 10:30 Central Time with our next video program. And I want to thank you for being here today. I really appreciate that. Be sure you like and share, and on YouTube, subscribe. So do all those things. That helps me out. And I did receive a card in the mail this week, and it's for Thanksgiving. It's from a friend of mine. It says, "Give thanks." I don't think that any of this is probably not Stampin' Up! Products, but it's still cute. It says, "Give thanks," and then "Happy Thanksgiving. Give thanks in all things." So we like to receive cards too, not only just make them. Okay, she called it a double easel fin fold. Okay. Oh, okay. Must have been a popular card today. And we're thinking alike. Okay, I don't think I've watched her. Might have to check that out. Okay, so I'm going to let you go for today. Thank you for being here, like I said. And y'all have a good weekend. You got any big plans for the weekend? I don't think we have any. Just the normal things. So until next Monday, y'all have a good weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye for now.